And we're live, I believe. So hey, what's up guys, my name is Ashano. We are here for the first stream of 2016. Should be pretty good. So, and we're live, I believe. So let me mute that. And we'll get this ball rolling. Alright, so let me just clean some stuff up, as I always have to do when this starts. Alright, we're good, I think. Yeah. Cool. Alright, so today we're going to, let me know if the stream is laggy or anything like that, by the way, because there may be some things that happen. So yeah. So we'll see what happens, basically. But hopefully it all works out to be fantastic. So, it's been a while since I did a live stream, so I'm going to kind of talk through what I'm doing right now, but I'm also going to get some work done. So it's not going to be too much, I don't think there's going to be too much interaction with you guys. I'll try my best to answer any questions and whatnot, but on the other hand, I do want to get some work done. So right now I'm working on UI for Sparky. So user interface basically. So it's a little bit similar to what we're doing in the game programming series, although the Sparky engine is much more mature than that. So it is a bit different. But overall, the concept I think is pretty similar. I'm still tweaking a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of stuff in the to-do section. What you guys are going to want to do if you want to follow along with kind of what I'm doing, and I'll start streaming a lot more regularly for kind of Sparky related work. So if you want to follow along, I think the best place to do so would be kind of on GitHub. If you go to the Sparky repository on GitHub, which is just, github.com/, why can't I resize this window? What is this? There we go. github.com/Sparky, and you look at the commits, for example. There's a lot of stuff here. I'll probably start adding issues and whatnot myself as well. Like a lot of you guys open them, not recently though. This was back when I was doing the YouTube series. A lot of you guys were opening them, and we actually closed quite a few of them. But yeah, I will zoom in. One of the things that I'll probably do as well is I'll open up some kind of Trello board so that we know kind of what's going on, and once I start doing the devlogs weekly, you'll see. So the first devlog is going to come up. The very first devlog is actually going to come out on Monday, so that's in 2 days. So basically, around 48 hours from now, probably a bit more. I'm going to say probably 54 hours from now. It would be pretty much the exact time of the first devlog for Sparky. But anyway, and you can follow along with what's going on. But there's also something in here in Sparky Core called Sparky Core -to-do. Okay, and in the to-do there's a rough list of. So this stuff will probably be on the Trello board and all that stuff. But for now, this is kind of what the more urgent features that I'm kind of working on are, and I've added some stuff to it that I haven't actually committed yet. But that's a good way of seeing kind of what current kind of minor features that Sparky is going to implement. But major stuff like that will probably be something that appears on the Trello board or just doesn't get really mentioned in this. This isn't like a to-do for the engine, it's more of like a fixes and kind of things like, you know, adding some macros and adding stuff like font metrics, which is actually kind of a big feature. But anyway, so that's a good place to follow along if you're confused about what I'm working on. Then the Sparky Core to-do thing is a good a good reminder of what I need to get done. But anyway, right now we're working on buttons. So we're working on something called a debug menu, which is essentially going to be some kind of menu that you can bring up in the game on any platform that you're on. And you'll be able to control certain parameters that the game or the engine sets. So we don't have much on there right now. If I hit Control Tab, that is the kind of make it go away now. That is the way. That's actually a bit of a bug right there that I need to fix. But anyway, this is still very early, so I'll have to do that. So I'll zoom in a little bit, maybe like 120%. That should be good enough. As I said, I do want to get some work done, so I don't want to zoom in to like 200% and do nothing. Okay, cool. Anyway, so we've got buttons. The basic way that the UI is laid out right now, we've only got a few things. So we've got a panel, which is just basically an actual layer, which is where the UI gets rendered and where events get kind of passed and updated and all that kind of stuff, right? It's just a normal layer. When you create the panel anywhere, it automatically adds itself as an overlay to the application. Okay, so it automatically adds itself. So you don't even have to do anything. Like literally, the code that you run is just like panel equals new panel, and like you're done. That's it. And then you can add stuff to the panel. So for example, over here we add debug menu items to the panel on activate. Now this has to be fixed as well because I don't want to obviously allocate all this stuff every time you bring up the debug menu. Although on the other hand, it is a debug menu, so it's not something that you would ship. So you know, performance probably isn't that critical. But yes, it's something that this is something that we might need to consider doing a different way. And then once we add those debug menu items, which are actually just buttons, as you can see, everything will work out. So the UI and whatnot, panels essentially just contain a vector of widgets. Widget is a UI item, right? It's essentially anything from a button to like a text field or a like a slider, anything like that, right? Just a UI component, literally, is what a widget is. So when you make a widget, you have to specify its bounds, essentially, and only actually, like you can't instantiate the widget class. It's something you can do. I should probably make the constructor private though for that. So no way you can do that because widgets are not meant to be initialized at all. You can, oops, got the reference there. How do I do that? You can, yeah, and then the bounds are essentially kind of the area that gets rendered as well. So that's weird. It kind of switches to multimedia when I put it at the start. Ah, it's monitor. I gotta fix that. It's a bit annoying. Anyway, yeah, so a widget really doesn't do much. But then like a button, for example, which is a type of widget, has a few more, like has a lot more functionality, right? Buttons just take in labels, bounds, and an optional handler, so you can make buttons that don't do anything by default, which is just no action right here. And then like this on, yeah, and then there's some really basic logic. All you need here really to make sure the buttons work. That's it. And then stuff like colors and font sizes and all of that stuff I need to figure out, especially being able to, for example, create a button with no bounds. Because it should be able to basically set the bounds based on the label and the font that you've picked as well. So that's another thing. That's another thing that requires font metrics. So fun. Audio's good, yep. Good. Alright, anyway. That's kind of the gist of things. I always like doing these, kind of afternoon streams, because it's 2 p.m. right now, and I'm actually going to switch my monitor to stop doing that. It's 2 p.m. right now in Australia, which means that like no one is watching this, which is good, because it's nice and quiet, and I don't have to spend a million hours answering questions and whatnot. I can just kind of get on with my own thing, which is good. Great, so there's like 42 people watching. Brilliant. Because usually towards the morning or the evening is when or everyone from the US and whatnot will, or more people from the US will be watching because it's like prime time. During the afternoon, it's like midnight or like 3 a.m. in the US, and everyone in Australia is probably doing their own thing on Saturday, and it's just a great time to stream. Anyway, so let's get on with this. Yeah, I know some of you guys from the States are some of you people with messed up sleep schedules are watching and whatnot. Anyway, yeah, so what I really want to do is probably fix the whole activate deactivate thing right now. I'm not gonna focus too much on ironing out the oh, actually, okay. It's like 9 p.m. in some places in the US. Yeah, I guess it's 2 p.m. actually. It's not like 4 p.m. Yeah. It's just, yeah, okay. Anyway, I was going to say that we need to kind of make sure this works. I'm not going to focus too much on extending the API and whatnot until we get everything working first. And there's a lot of hard-coded stuff here anyway that I want to fix. Okay, so so how can we make a system here? So widget say. You know what we could do if we were cool, and we are pretty cool. We could probably do something like yeah, this is clever. We could do I'm just thinking. It's a little bit dangerous though. Yeah, I started this almost a year ago. I didn't really work on it too much, but now this year I'm going to work on Sparky a lot more. It's fairly big. It's a fairly large project. Like how many files do we have in the solution? 396. It's not small. Okay. Oh, really? You guys can't see the code? Let me see if I can. Let me just see what it looks like on Twitch. Come on. Nah, you can totally see it. If you full screen it, you can totally see it. Just full screen it. You probably don't even have to full screen it, you just have to... Yeah, I can see it fine. Nah, it's fine. I'm not changing it. If I go any higher, it's just going to be really difficult for me to navigate code because everything's so not much will fit onto the screen. I'm already at 120% instead of 100%, which is like that. So, you know. Anyway, 121 we'll go to. Compromise. Okay, so yeah, so I'm thinking about maybe you can provide a list of widgets yourself. And then it might be able to iterate through that collection instead, which is an interesting idea, because that would mean that you could maintain your own kind of stack-based list and then just submit everything like that. And then based on that collection, this is, yeah. Let's see what we could do here. So do open your items, for example, this thing, yeah. we could do something like, okay, so a few things that we need to not do are basically need to do with this, because right now that'll all get handled by the panel. Do we have any other debug menu item things? No, good. So the slider stuff we can do later. Okay, cool. Well, both of these. Okay, so that would mean that we do something like this, which is actually very similar. It's exactly the same as this. So maybe we should be able to do something like panel.set set widget collection or something to that. The problem with that is that, yeah, that is a bit annoying. Maybe there's a better way to do this. I'm thinking. I'm working on UI right now. I mean, really, I just need, yeah, to maintain this based on what it currently is. Like, this is, yeah, a bit annoying. I need to think this out. So the other option is I could have what I've got now, but as soon as they disappear or anything like that, I would have to manually maintain that list, which is what I don't want to do. Which is why it might be easier to have a custom collection, which would not be a good thing because I would need that stuff. Yeah, you can go. You guys can generally just ask questions in chat. Don't worry too much about it, and I'll either answer them or someone else in the chat will answer them. It's pretty simple. What we really need is a custom allocator for this. I'm not going to do today. And I'll put it into the to-do though. Yeah. What we ideally would have was a custom allocator for this panel, which would just allocate us a bunch of, so that we wouldn't have to keep newing this, because right now we have to new it basically. There's no way we can do this in an abstract way unless we know everything about it, which we could do if we were in the debug menu. But this has to apply to everything, so we can't do that. There's actually, the best way to solve this problem would be to have a custom allocator. Unfortunately, Sparky currently does not have any of that for memory. And as I said, memory is actually pretty low on my to-do list, but memory management includes stuff like allocators. I've actually kind of promoted this up here. But we need stuff like that pretty soon, actually, because the reason this is still kind of like not really priority is just because, like, even though it is performance, it's just because it's kind of a performance optimization thing where we don't really have to do it, especially right now because we don't have any performance problems. But for the kind of larger scope of the engine, it is very, very important to do that. So I guess we'll just do that, and then we'll kind of we might even attempt to maintain some kind of like list of to-dos for each class or something, and one of them in this case would be replacing this new debug menu thing with an actual situation, because right now we need to actually delete everything basically. So the panel should have a void remove all, I guess, or something like that. We might call it like clear or something. Panel clear. Yeah, that makes sense. So clear, where's remove? Void panel clear. And this will obviously just go through all the widgets. It's actually a bug here, I don't know why it's that. I manually correct that. And we need to delete widgets I, basically. Okay, so clear is now a thing. So yeah, this is terrible because every time you open up the debug menu, it allocates, and every time you close it, it deallocates. So it's not the best, but we have to do it, unfortunately, for now, just because we don't have a better system. But we will, so it's okay. Show no guarantee. Alright, so panel clear now. Alright, so this should work fairly well, I imagine. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so the other thing that's happening is that for some reason set visible is not really behaving as intended, even though it should. So visible equals false. Ah, it's because there's no on deactivate. Which we'll do here. In fact, we could probably do the clear on deactivate. Yeah, the reason I was doing it there was because we didn't have that. So we'll clear the panel. Do we have to do anything else? Let's look at what we do to activate. Yeah, we just add stuff. So this should be fine. Now we should be able to lols. So we're trying to delete stuff that has been deleted. Well, that's good. Why are we doing that? Oh, yes. Because I forgot to clear list. So it's filled with dead pointers. Alright, there we go. Now we can tell that, and buttons-wise, everything should work pretty well. So one of the things that's wrong here is the font size. So we want something like 24. I may change the colors a lot. 24, yeah, that's not bad. The other thing is, let's draw some bounding boxes around these. So renderer.draw rectangle bounds. Now I've got some, I'm drawing it beneath the, oh, it's fine, yeah. Somehow it's still working. It's because of the batch renderer being lulled right now. Okay, so there's the bounding box of the thing. That thing could probably be a bit more centered, so we might just do something like mbounds position plus vec2 0.2, 0.5. I feel like we need to do more, like 7 or something. This is all very hard coded, I know for now. This is just to get this stuff kind of right. That looks pretty good to me. Alright, and we obviously need the bounds to be a bit bigger. So, again, I'm kind of guessing the bounds. In a better situation, we would just simply actually go through this list of, like, we would go through this action list, essentially, which is a list of the debug menu items, right? We would go through all the debug menu items. We would find out what their names were, like what the label is. We would measure the length of each label, and then find the max label length, and then set that to be the width of every single button, right? But we don't have that right now, because we don't have font metrics in the engine, but we will. So for now, we kind of just set a width set to like something like this. I don't know, something pretty basic, so yeah. And there we go, we kind of hope for the best here. Alright, Dragon Slayer. Let's, as you question. I am attempting to take a string and use it to determine the type of primitive array. I know for strings to classes I can use a class.forName, but is there a method like this for primitives? I'm not sure I know what you mean. So attempting to take a string and use it to determine a type of primitive array. What do you mean? So you're taking a string and you're using it to determine a type. Class.forName, I don't know what that does. This sounds... Why would you ever want to do this though? That's what I'm not understanding. What's your actual use case? Hard to explain. Well, I want to pass in a string such as float and make it a float array. Well, that doesn't make much sense because how is that going to store it anyway if it doesn't know what the type is? Okay, you're passing a collage file, sure. Step 1. And then what are you doing? That's your first mistake, by the way. Collada is an awful format. I love this stream communication because of the delay. It's so much fun. Okay, anyway, while you're maybe replying or maybe not, I'm going to say that, and people might need context that are watching this on YouTube or something. I don't, like, it's very hard to explain, yeah. Yeah, okay, I see. So, based on what you've said and whatnot, like, doing this, like, automatically, like the class.forName thing or whatever, I mean, I'm failing to see why you couldn't just do something like, you know, like a switch statement, or an if state, or a bunch of if-else statements to determine the type, and then once you determine the type, you can store the data. Yeah, like, that's pretty much it. Like, I wouldn't do it that way anyway if I was doing it. So I can kind of see what you're doing, and that probably wouldn't be what I would have done. But if you want to do it the way that you're doing it, then you can just do that. Like, you can pass the attribute string and then determine the type and then do something like that. That's pretty standard to do something like that. But what you could do instead is just store the data as an unknown kind of type, right? Just as a bunch of bytes, and then, you know, you can store what I would do is store the type somewhere else, and then you'd be able to use the type to read the data when required. But that way, you could store the data regardless of the type, because you don't need to know the type of the data to store it, right? You need the type of you need the type you need to know the type of the data to interpret the data, not to store it. Yeah, the dynamic way of doing it, there might be something in Java which returns a type based on that, but I wouldn't. There would not be something like that for primitive types. I can see why they've got stuff like that for class types, because I'm looking at the Java doc right now. But yeah, I can pretty much guarantee to you that there wouldn't be anything like. You could actually, since Java does have stuff like integer and float, like actual, like with a capital F, like those kind of classes, I imagine you probably could use the same thing here, right? I'm not sure if the string would still apply though. You might have to capitalize the first letter of the string or expand into integer or something like that, because it doesn't match it exactly, but it would not give you a primitive type. You would get the object anyway. There's no way that you can return primitives like that. It's not going to happen, because Java's type system isn't exactly, you know, good. Like, it's not. Yeah, you can see, like, even how in Java, like, if you're making a list, you can't just do that. You have to do that. Like, it's the same kind of concept. Like, you probably won't be able to do anything with primitives. But yeah, I would absolutely, like, because that sounds like you're doing kind of like a deserialization thing, which is why I would just deserialize the actual data as, because typically when you do stuff like memory mapping and you actually don't even load the file because you don't really need to, especially if it's a collada file and it's big, because they usually are, then yeah, you would just store the data somewhere. You would store a pointer to the data. Again, I'm talking in like C++, not Java thing, because Java complicates this a lot. But you would store a pointer to the beginning of the data, and then you would have a separate variable, or maybe even somewhere in the thing, just like what type the data is. And then when you actually want to do something with the data, you grab the type, you grab the pointer, and then you know the type now, so you can interpret the data. So yeah. All right. Anyway, back to this. Good. This works now. So the next thing is, so buttons now have actions. So the idea is with these things, since they're submitted as floats, so you can see I've added 2 floats. These are just debug menu settings right now, so like padding and font size, for example. So what happens here is that these get added to the debug menu, and what was I going to say? And when you click on them, since they're floats, right, you can see that they're like these are both floats, right? So they get added using this add thing, which takes in a float value, and it essentially creates a new float action with this thing, right? And so what we're doing here as well, is that we're actually we're creating like, you know, a getter and a setter, which is what these 2 things are, and they modify the value. But when you actually do the action, right, which is a float action, is just a type of value action here, we need to do something like display a slider so that you can actually adjust the value, right? So Uplay is a Ubisoft thing, not an EA thing. So Origin is the EA thing, and that's actually not too bad. I actually quite like Origin, because it gives you free games for one. I like that. Anyway, so when you click on something like this, it should pop up like a slider, so you can actually adjust this value. And also, I probably want to align this to the right side or something like that. Anyway, so this is what this would do. It would display a slider for this value action. So a debug menu slider is something that I started working on. But I'm thinking maybe this is a general UI thing that I can do instead. So yeah. Yes, if you've recently become a Patreon or a patron, and you pledge an amount, you only get charged at the beginning of the next month. So that's like if that goes through successfully, that's when you get all your rewards. That's why it's a good idea to pledge like right before the beginning of a month, so like late month, because then you'll get it quicker basically. If you pledge at the beginning of the month, it's like, oh, I gotta wait like a month. And also, just keep in mind that all the rewards are by request, so that's another thing that you should probably know. So basically, just because a lot of people pledge and just don't really care about the rewards, for some reason, I don't know why, but people have been like, oh, no, it's okay, I don't need this. And I'm like, okay. So basically, if you were charged the money and you want the reward, then you just message me on Patreon and I will give it to you. That's kind of how it works. I'm good. I'm good. I'm getting this stuff done, which is good. Okay, so sliders. Sliders in general. Let's just make a UI slider and then we'll focus on making a debug menu one. So, a UI slider, Assume you guys all know what sliders are. This is graphics, UI. We're going to need maths. We're going to need panel. Widget. So, class, slider, public widget. Okay, so we'll store a few things such as, well, the bounds, which we know anyway. We need to store the head bounds though. Maths, rectangle, head bounds. So the head is like the thing that you actually use. And then we need to store the value. When you make a slider, you should be able to specify the bounds of the track. I'll just call it track for now. Track bounds, or just bounds. Yeah, in fact, you just specify the bounds. Everything else we get out, and then an optional value will be set to 0 by default. Okay, so C++ file, slider, prefile header, slider, namespace, graphics, namespace UI, and then we can just get Visual Assist to create the method for us, which it does with formatting changes for some reason. Get rid of that comment. So, widgets. So the bounds that we have are obviously going to be bounds. And then the value will set up to be just value. Okay, so now we can now we have to no, I didn't work on the Battlefronts, but I did play it a lot throughout the year. FireMonkeys won't be ditching the ISIS engine just yet. Soon. ISIS is actually a really good engine. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's got very, very few things that are bad. There's some legacy code but for the most part, it's actually really, really good. Like it performs really well and whatnot. Okay, so now the rotating cube and sphere was earlier. Yeah, we are actually changing the name. So it's okay. The name will be changed. I'm not going to tell you what the new name is, but I do know what it is, but I don't want to say too much. But yes, we are conceding that the terrorists have won, and we are changing the name. Now, there's actually a building very close to the office, so like close to Melbourne. There used to be a building like close to the CBD that said ISIS in all capital letters. That was the name of the building, and they recently took the sign down. So yeah, it's a bit annoying, isn't it? So yeah. Now there is no ISIS building in Melbourne anymore. Okay, what they're doing, yeah, so we need to figure out the maths for this stuff. So we've got the bounds, we know the value, so the head bounds really are going to be, we'll just do that in here. Okay, so we're going to, for now it's going to be a horizontal slider, and then we'll make it vertical and whatnot. So since this is a horizontal one, we'll have x and y will just be, so for this case, obviously x and y will be based on the value, but this will just be something like bounds.x, bounds.y. And the width and height is basically going to be the bounds.height in this case. Yeah, so in this case it'll kind of be a square thing. I think that will work out pretty well. Just thinking, yes, probably. And then, so if we do this, let's bring up widget. I can just do that on my other monitor. I forgot I have another monitor because I'm streaming and whatnot. So let's bring some stuff onto the other monitor. Okay, so we need to do that anyway. Actually, let's render it first. So we'll do this. I'm thinking of making all this virtual anyway, so that you can make like your own slider, but by just like overriding stuff. So we'll see. But for now, we'll just do renderer fill rect bounds or mbounds, and we'll fill that with we'll make it kind of transparent, I guess 7F or something, or yeah, CF. And then we'll just do something like 7F, 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 and then we'll do the same thing for the head bounds. And we'll do that, but we'll make it probably like BF or something. Alright, there we go. So now you've done that, let's just add a slider. So we should see something on the screen now. We go back to the debug menu and we add it to the panel. Yes, I know. We'll just say I need a common UI header file soon. Otherwise, importing this stuff all one by one is going to be annoying. Whoops. Let's drop my phone. Was it doing? Yes. New slider. Okay, so we need the bounds. Let's do something like rectangle. Wait, do that. So that, and then the value, yeah, we'll just keep it 0. So we'll say this is between, okay, so we'll do like 8, 8, and then maybe I'll make it 8, 2. Oh, that's it, right? What do you think of that? Mabes, yep. There's our slider. Doesn't look too bad. Can't slide it yet, but and that of course forces it to disappear because it gets deleted. But anyway, so 2 might be a bit too thick. Pretty cool though. We've got a slider. Let's draw some rectangles, because rectangles are my favorite things ever. Obviously, rectangles are the best. We'll draw one here and one here. So draw rect. This will be bounds, and we'll draw another one for the head bounds. So this is just so we can see like the bounding boxes. Yeah. And then finally, so this is actually kind of small. I might even make it bigger, but anyway, for now it's fine. And then I kind of want to draw a track as well. So like render a dot, just like a line down the middle. So maybe like draw a line. We'll set the start to be basically bounds dot position, and the next one, but I want the center of that though. Wait, bounds dot position is going to be, yeah, so bounds dot position plus vec2. Oh, no, I know what I could do. I could just do bounds dot center plus or minus vec2 bounds dot size divided by 2, 0. And then the same thing. What's wrong with you? What? Okay, first of all, I should be like that, but second of all, what's wrong with you? With that return? Yeah, that should be good. Stop joking me. And then we'll do the same thing for the plus, and then that should be pretty good. Wait, what was that set to? Yeah, that's right. That's fine. Alright, so why is this being a lol cake? No instance of constructor vec2 matches the argument types vec3. Why is that oh, yeah, no. That's, yeah, lols. That's why. Size is a vec2 though. I don't know why I thought it was vec3. That's very odd. That's why it took me so long to understand that. Anyway, now I've got a line that was also in the middle of it. See? Just for fun. It's pretty fun. Okay, so now let's add some actual logic. So we'll need our slider to basically have all of this stuff. So where's our slider? So all of this stuff. So we can just create implementations of that. Okay, so on mouse pressed. So this will only happen if we're within the bounds. That's one thing I have to say, that automatically the way that this UI system is set up is that we can only accept mouse pressed and released events as long as they happen within the bounds of where we are. So what that means, moved is fine and whatnot, but what that means is that if I print out like pressed, for example, then what you'll see is that that only happens when we're in the bounds. Like, so if I click over here or anything, nothing's going to happen. If I click here, though, we get pressed events, right? Otherwise, it doesn't happen. So that's already there for us, which is A+. I haven't read the chat in ages, by the way, so it's not much. Good. I have found the source in Genesis. I found that recently, actually. I should post that. I might do like a 4-year review. This is the 5th year, actually. Yeah, the 5-year review of the Genesis code. It's crazy. That was so long ago. Wow. Incredible. Oh no, it was actually 4 years ago. Yeah, that seems more likely. I thought it was 2011 for some reason, but no, it's 2012, August. Okay, anyway. So we need a similar thing to what the button had with the state. Let's just kind of grab this stills for now. There'll be more than just that though. This is just for now. So we'll have, yeah, press on pressed. Slider state. So the state will be set to unpressed to begin with. We'll set the state to pressed, unpressed. So basically, if we could do something like this, so if state dot pressed, what am I doing? Equals slider state pressed. Then, just for now, we'll set the headBounds.x equal to, okay, so we need to do some mouse conversion here. So again, this is going to assume that we're in an interesting state, so mouse button, button. We have to do this. We have to remove all these hard-coded mouse things, I know. For now, we'll just go on with it. So now we know where it is, so we'll say that basically I guess that will equal mouse.x, right? So we'll see what this works out as being. Those should both return true, by the way. So now I should be able to move this, yep. You can see that as soon as I start moving it though, wherever I am, well first of all I can move it freaking anywhere. But you can see kind of how that works. So we need to offset a few things. So first of all, mouse.x needs to be, or rather this needs to be plus the bounds.size divided by 2 so that we actually get into the middle. What's wrong with you? Alright. Yeah, so now it's, why did I do that? Oh, of course. Okay, so now it's in the middle. That's good. The other thing we need to do, avoid slider on update. I don't think we've got that, but we will in a minute. On update, override. Basically, here's what we'll do actually. So the bounds.x, yeah, has to always basically equal. We need the original, we need the position of the bounds which we've got. So this will always be, oh sorry, this is headBounds, yeah. HeadBounds.x will always be the bounds.x, yeah, plus the bounds.size.x times the value. Okay, so this way we don't actually touch the headBounds here. This is always going to be done here. This actually could be done in render as well. But anyway, I just decided to do an update. So basically what that means is that when you do this, instead of doing any of this kind of stuff, and actually this is a bit wrong because we need to offset it a little bit. So it'll actually be okay, we'll kind of see what this looks like first. But it'll be probably plus like the headBounds or something. Or minus headBounds, so size divided by 2, whatever. Something like that. It'll be something like that. But anyway, so based on what this is, we need to also calculate a value for it. But the reason I've done this and whatnot is because let's just comment this out for now, is because if we set the value to something like every time the mouse moves, maybe we'll set the value equal to like mouse.x divided by 32, so this way it'll be between 0 and 1. See, every time I move the mouse, the slider kind of stays within that. Obviously, if I go off the screen and whatnot, that will be a problem. We really should not be reporting mouse movement outside of the client area. I'm not sure why that's happening. It's another bug, I guess. Look, there it goes to my second monitor. Anyway, you can see that this is, yeah, so anyway. So what adjustments we have to make? Yeah, that's actually correct. It's just that the area that we have to go in is actually the bounds area. It's actually a bit smaller than that. So float bounds is actually going to be bounds dot size dot x minus head bounds dot size dot x, or something like yeah, that's it. So then instead of that we use that. We'll need to do some offsetting, but that's basically it. So you can see that now it'll do that. Okay, and now all we have to do is instead of doing the minus, we do the plus, or maybe even nothing at all. Yeah, in fact, nothing at all, and then we're done. Okay, so there you go. Some light maths for the morning. I called this the morning because I got up like 2 hours ago. I got up at like 12:30, maybe 1 even. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, I will post Genesis eventually. Anyway. Yeah, I was going to say the cube, the rotating cube thing. So on tick and on update are two different things. Let me just answer this question first. On tick happens once per second, whereas on update happens once per update, which is basically 60 times a second. And then on render happens based on your refresh rate. So, and whether or not vsync is enabled. So if vsync is enabled, then it will be your refresh rate, which is 60 or like 120 or 144 or 75 or anything like that. Although that isn't actually implemented, so it'll always be at 60 right now. But that's very trivial to implement. Whereas, yeah, on update will happen 60 times a second regardless of anything, and then tick is, yeah, once per second. Yes, so I would say the rotating cube and whatnot is actually just in test 3D. It's not really that much code either, I don't think. So basically, it's a cube, a sphere, and a plane get created. The cube and the sphere get created based on the model files, which is just OBJ. So this is basic OBJ parsing. This model thing, it's really not that complicated. This is like it. And then a lot of vertex insertions. And yeah, it's all very, very simple. And then, yeah, and the rotation is just like getting the transform components and rotating them. Pretty simple. So you can take a look there. That's probably a good way to make things in Sparky. And the material they use is, yeah, the shader, which is scene shader, which is this one right here. So we've got basically just the color of the normal. Yes, this will be uploaded to YouTube, this stream. I don't know why you said that to me privately, but yes, it will be uploaded to the stream. To YouTube. Have you considered making your own language? No, because I don't really want to. It's a lot of work, and I don't really have the desire to do that. not sure if it would be any different. Like, I'm not sure how different it would be to, like, C++ or C# or anything like that. Probably be very similar. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm actually reasonably happy with the languages that are out there right now. So, basically, no need. Okay. So instead of setting the value to this now, we need to basically adjust the value based on what we click. So here's another question. Are you going to add global illumination like Enlighten to Sparky? As far as I know, that's not real-time global illumination anyway. So, I mean, Sparky will obviously support stuff like light maps, but is Enlighten real-time? I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm not 100% sure, that's all. Maybe someone could answer that. Wow, Slack is really going off. Anyway, I should get back to what I'm doing. I should probably put Slack on like snooze. Just because, yeah. Anyway. So what was I saying? So yeah, my slider's best. So value, yeah, so we need to obviously, now that we have the mouse, normalize to the screen space based on an orthographic matrix that's between 0 and 32 and 0 and 18, which of course very hard-coded and will change eventually. But in fact, I'm going to copy that to-do that I had from the button into here just so I don't forget. This needs to be changed. There we go. Basically, if the thing is pressed, we need to do a few things. We need to figure out if we're actually in the bound of the head bounds. So bool, on head, or bool head will just be basically head bounds dot contains mouse, right? Easy as that. So if we are on the head, then we can change the value basically. So value, and we need to change the value. We don't even need to do a delta. We could, but we can actually just set it equal to, since we know that we are on the thing, we can just set the value equal to whatever the current position of the mouse is relative to the bounding box. So a value would just be basically the mouse dot x, I think, just minus, oh, hang on. Yeah, mouse dot x minus bounds dot x. Divided by bounds dot size dot x. I think that should work pretty well, and then we can decide if we want more functionality. Oh, yes, what happened here? What now? What? I mean, this also has changed. What was that? That is very rare. Okay, I still haven't done anything, apparently. Slider. Oh, yeah, let's get rid of that. Breaking everything. So if I click on this and drag it, you can see it should work. It's actually a bit... Oh, yeah, I see. No, that's fine. We don't need head. We can just say... So pressed, and then pressed head. So basically, if E dot, getting annoyed with this stuff. We can just go like this. So if that, so basically mstate equals that and that. I'm not even sure if we should do it that way, but that eliminates this. So we say that basically if we press head, then we're done, and then obviously if we release it, it's done. Obviously also if we go outside the bounds entirely, we need to fix that as well. But there you go, so that kind of works. If we press here, it doesn't work, only on the head. And then we can basically just drag this to wherever we want it to be. So slider works pretty well. We need to stop going out the bounds. This is pretty simple. We can just set head bounds, or rather we can just do, yeah, head bounds dot x equals, do we have like a, I think we just do max, right? How is our max function stuff set up? It's just like that. I mean, it's in the namespace, but yeah, alright. So we can just do, let's set this up right now. Value for min. Oh, sorry. What am I doing? That would be clamp, which we also need. So if value, if max, return, return max greater than value, max value. There you go. Min would be the opposite of that. I guess I'll put min first. I can't believe we don't have this stuff yet. Min. Might be a better way of doing this, I don't know. Like some kind of mathematical non-branchy way, but anyway. This is fine. And then finally we'll have clamp. So, so value less than min, return value greater than max, return max, otherwise return value, otherwise return min. Yep. That is some easy to write code. I think it's right. I'm not 100% sure. One can never know. What is the point of this magic define SP API everywhere? This is probably wrong, actually. Hang on, let me fix this first. What have I done? Oh. Value less than min. Yeah, sorry, I did it all the other way around. It seems. Yeah, I did it correctly, yeah. Okay, this will be fine, I think, maybe. We'll see. Yeah, that's fine. I was going to say that SVA API is not a magic to find. It is a DLL export or DLL import, depending on how you use this. So, yes. Which you need because Sparky compiles into into a DLL. Lols, OMG, Eat Play Hate is in the house. So anyway, that's some nice stuff. So now we can see if my clamp thing even worked. And we can clamp this to be between, I guess the bounds, right? Actually, yeah. So we can clamp it to be between like bounds. So the value is that, and this is going to be x, and it's going to be x plus size of x. Maybe. Let's see what happens. It's exciting. Uh-oh. Worst. Why do you, okay, if you guys are asking questions that are like not, you know, really, really personal, just ask them in the chat. Don't send me private messages because yeah, there's no point in doing that and then people don't know what I'm answering because, yeah, what's wrong with you? What have I done? I didn't modify that accidentally when I was in the chat. No, what's wrong with you? Oh, wait, no, it's fine. Yeah, okay. Minimum, I guess. Maximum. That's fine, maybe. This is the worst. That might not be fine. We'll see if this compiles. Nope. Really? It should work here though, that's the thing. I'm not sure why this is not working. I should not need to have to do that. Yeah, okay, it's still sad. Why are you still sad? Stop being sad. What did I break? There aren't any other ones. I still don't really understand. I might have accidentally forgotten this though. That would make sense. Except it's still wrong. Ah, what have I done? Anyway. Yeah, I don't know why this is sad. Apparently I can't even write a min function. Oh, well, first of all, I didn't spell that right. Not that that matters. Why? Why are you sad? Stop being sad. This, yeah. I don't think there should be any conflicts either. No. Should not be any conflicts. And yet, this is lulling me. Where is it expecting a float? Oh my goodness me. This whole thing is apparently just wrong. Maybe something is wrong with the macro. I doubt it. Yeah, it's not. There can't be anything wrong with that. That is incredibly. Move this. No, it's not that. It can't be that because, well, everything else freaking works, and also, also, I did just remove it, and it did nothing. Build, fail. Line 70, right here. So what is wrong with this? What have I done? Nah, the macro's fine. Totes works everywhere else. But it's just a deck spec, so it's fine. Min shouldn't be a macro, and Visual Assist does not go to min, but I'm thinking that it may be. But Visual Assist can't find it in this scope, so let's see quickly here if there is anything like that. It shouldn't be. F12. I mean, this is probably the solution, but it shouldn't be. Yeah. So where is it being defined? It's got to be in math somewhere, right? Unless it's in, this does not include anything. It could be anywhere though. That's the issue. It's more. I mean, aren't they capitalized anyway? Like, seriously. I swear those macros were capitalized. Okay, well, clearly they do exist because I can actually probably find them now. Actually, hang on, let's do something like this. See, you can't even find it. I bet it's fudging like Windows or something. I bet it's Windows as well. I bet it's something in here. Which is going to be impossible to find now. In fact, let's see if I can use it in here. You guys can't see this, but it's happening, I assure you. Yep. Oh my goodness. This is in a bunch of places. Let me just quickly drag this over so you guys can see what I've done. So it's in a bunch of places. It's in frickin' this, which I'm about to remove because no. Don't do this. Goodbye. I'm actually just removing that. Second of all, it's in standard lib, but only if C++ is not defined, which it is. So it's basically not in standard lib then. Good. And in the third place is in this thing. No min-max. I'm defining that puppy. Yes, solved. Okay, so we'll probably have to fix this as well. Or you could just use like Sparkcase Maths stuff. Math.h. Does this have some kind of min-max situation? I mean, fmax and whatnot. Yeah, I can just do that. And I can probably do that as well. Alright, anyway. Solved. Nah, those headers are my headers. It's fine. So it was libarc, wasn't it? Or was it lib? Yeah, it's this thing. Was it? Here it is. Yeah. Let's think this builds. Well, it builds even like without those headers, those defines, so it's fine. Alright, good. So, yeah, that's fine. So now that we've done this, no min-max, we can go into, now this is rock solid. I'll remove the lols and it'll be even more solid. And then it'll compile. Solved. Okay, so now let's see if my code worked. That's the important part. Is that even allowed in terms of the license for lib? Of course it's allowed. It's freaking... Why would it not be allowed? Of course you can modify the file. Why would you not be able to modify the source code? That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Yeah. Especially because no one's actually going to even see that. It's going to be SP-audio.dll. Oh, I broke it. I bet it's this. No, I don't think it is actually. Hang on. For size. .x. Yeah, that's fine. I think it's that. Yeah, here it is. So what is that? What? Because I think it gets clamped or something. Actually, no, that doesn't make any sense because. Hang on a minute. Okay. So that's clearly working. What did I break? I broke something. I bet it's my clamp. It has to be my clamp. There's no thing. I thought I muted you. You silly slack. Okay, so that works. So it's my clamp. My clamp. Okay, so let's take a proper look at this. So, clamping that between this and this. Let's say this should immediately tell us the problem. Clamping 8 between 8 and 16. Clamping 10 between 8 and 16. This is correct. What is happening? Oh, okay, so it must be my clamp then. head bounds dot x is 11, and now it's 8. Lols. Alright, clamp it is. So, what's wrong with you? I bet it's just, like, lack of brackets. That's probably it. Silly me, doubting my maths. No, it's still this crap. Apparently I can't write a clamp function. So if value is less than minimum. Oh. Well, that's wrong. If value is greater than minimum, then if value is less than maximum, let's return value. We'll rewrite this bit. Otherwise, we'll return maximum. Otherwise, we'll return minimum. That probably makes more sense. Yeah, I should have probably written it like that to begin with. Okay, done. Okay, so we need to adjust the. We need to adjust. That other problem is annoying as well. Because we need to somehow get a release event no matter what. Anyway, we can still do that though. It's fine. Minus. Oh yeah, that's annoying. That's not what I meant. I meant minus head bounds dot size dot x divided by 2, not 20, not 20. Or not at all. Yeah, because it's not the middle. I keep thinking for some reason that the position is the middle, but it's not. Alright, done. So, the issue with that is that we need to know if the mouse gets released. So, if mouse, let's do this. So, if window, get window, or just get input manager dot, or actually, it's just input, is mouse button pressed, SP mouse left. If that's false, then we just have to set. The reason I'm doing it this way is because remember this only gets done if this only happens if it gets released while on the head, but I also want people to be able to drag stuff that isn't, like you don't have to be on this to drag it, you can kind of go up here and drag it as you can see, but once you release it, it's done. So there we go, we've got a proper like working slider. Now I also think that if you click on a space that is blank, it should advance it by like 0.2 or something like that. Like, I don't want it to drag it to the point, I just want it to, you know, kind of like how Windows, I guess, does it when you've got like, I don't know, a bunch of files. Let's find some in here. When you've got like a bunch of files in graphics and it's like you click here, it's like, it doesn't advance it all the way. Like, it just kind of, you can see here, it just kind of drags it a little bit. It's kind of like what I want to do, I think. Yes, probably also worth mentioning that all of the math stuff will eventually be replaced with SSA stuff when I have time or the need to do that, really, because right now everything seems to be performing good. Once I start doing stuff like stress tests and whatnot, I'll probably want to do that. Okay, anyway, so I've got a slider now, that's good. We want to also be able to configure this to be vertical, so I need to kind of do that. but I'm generally pretty happy with it. So let's try and make a really big one, I guess. I don't know, it should just work, but let's make a huge one. So like 1610. Oh, this will be 1610 aspect ratio slider. That's green. Let's make this like 7 or something. I mean, that works. Oh, that's a bit annoying though. Kind of just jumps to that. Damn it. I thought it was perfect. Now I have to fix it. So we could figure out where it is pressed so that we can, when the mouse is moved, we can offset it properly. Yeah, that wouldn't be too difficult. Let's just do that. Such a descriptive variable. So this will be is mouse already? No, it'll be mouse.x minus headbounds.x. I could combine them, obviously, but I don't want to. Like, I could just, you know, not do this, but lols. Alright, so now that we've got that, we know where we are. So let's just verify that's working properly. Okay, so 2.85 seems legit. 6.7, okay, that's fine. I'm going to assume that's correct. So now, when we set the value, we want to do mouse.x minus bounds.x plus head press position, probably. Probably. Or not. It's going to be minus, apparently. And this should be, as you can see. Ah, you were the chosen one. You were supposed to be perfect. So, hang on. So mouse x minus bounds.x minus head press position. Maybe it sounds like it should really be plus, shouldn't it? Like that seems to work. That seems to work. That seems to work. So if it's 0 it works, but if it's up here it's like all weird and stuff. Oh no, well yeah, of course. No, that's fine. I don't know why that didn't work though. My maths is not correct, clearly. Oh, I see. That is annoying. I have not done this the way that I should have. Oh, great. So what do I actually have to do? I have to... Yeah, it should always be offset from... So... So that gives me the distance of the mouse from the beginning of the bounds. But yeah, I need to have that distance. No, that's actually... No, I had it wrong. Because I need to... Oh, it's a very lazy afternoon. No time for this stuff. I need to also... So let's see what I did here. Does that apparently should work, but didn't. Oh, okay, I see. So it works on this side. Ish. Yeah, because that just happens to drag it wrong. So what I should have done is probably just divided this by size x maybe minus the position. But that's still not going to work because I need to do it based on the bounds. Yeah, that's very annoying. Extremely annoying. And I can't think right now, which is also good. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, I literally cannot think right now, which is fun. We are still going to fix this though. This is just probably going to take me longer than it should. And also I have to respond to something. I did not fall asleep. I was answering a text. Alright, so, where were we? This stuff. Okay, so, value is that, apparently. Sure. Divided by bounds. Yes, but that's wrong. Because that assumes that it's... So it has to be that minus the size of the head bounds. Or something like that. Stop failing to do stuff. Okay. So, I mean, that's wrong, but it should be closer to being correct. Yeah, okay, I can see what that's done. So that now makes it so that, yeah, I'm here. Whereas what I need to be is that plus that offset, I think. Plus, what is it called? Head crest position. So I'll call that like offset or something, I don't know. Okay, so that's still not completely correct. For some reason. Okay, so let's roll this again. So that's fine. Oh, I don't know, man. Maybe it needs a minus, who knows? Can't be bothered thinking right now. That's clearly wrong. Minus head balance dot size dot x. This, yeah, this may need to be divided by 2. No. Oh, I am just about to give up on this stuff. Okay, what do we have here? So that seems to not... Okay. So it doesn't work if I do that. But it's this stuff that it finds difficulty with. And it almost looks like... Okay, don't do that. So if I do that, it jumps to the center. Why does it do that? because the value should change by like nothing basically. Minus the bounds of x. This is all very fun. Try to fix my slider. I might just rewrite this whole maths thing because I don't like it. But before I do, let me just verify that this actually works properly, because this should work properly. Okay, it does. That works like it should. Now, this stuff doesn't though. Which is why... maybe I do need that here. Yeah, this should not be, okay, I just fixed it. I just can't think right now, that's all. So I had to spend way more time on that than I should have. Let's also fix this up because I don't like it. And we're going to rename this to something like head offset or something. Okay, so I think that's good now. We go to debug menu and we change this to like 8 and 1 or something. It'll look a bit more size appropriate. And you can see that we can drag this stuff wherever we like and it should all work. And of course the value we can get back is pretty simple. So we need a way to get that thing. So inline float get value return and value. And I guess we'll also have a set value. I have to not forget that this stuff should be all SP API. Otherwise, no one's going to be able to use it outside of the engine. And value equals value. Okay, done. Yeah, it's a Dust keyboard. It's Dust keyboard 4 with like brown switches and whatnot, and it's blank. I actually quite like the way it looks. I don't think I would get another blank keyboard though, just because, first of all, no one else can type on it, apparently. Or at least my non-programmer friends can't type on it, and also, because they're amateurs, and also, sometimes like I want to know symbols, or like my fingers are misaligned, I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense to not have, like you might as well have it. But I really like the way it looks. It looks really like clean and, you know, matte black, and it looks very nice. It looks very slick. Okay, so now that we've got that, yeah, the big thing, or the big issue really is going to be, so when we make, first of all, when we make this action situation thing, it would be nice if we could store like a min and a max. So t min and a max. So yeah, we'll have a default or something. And then when we create the slider, we would set that as well. We really will only have one slider for debug menu anyway. So yeah, let's try some of this stuff out because why not? So now that we've got a slider, yeah, we can really try this out. So we'll have like a normal slider, which I call debug menu slider, which I think we don't need anymore because it'll just be a normal slider. But let's say that this includes slider or something, I don't know. Graphics UI slider. Slider. So we can, yeah, the problem is that the panel gets cleared every freaking time. Oh well, do it here. So we'll add a slider, and we'll put it to sleep. So first of all, does the panel, this should return whatever we add. Oh, but as a widget, yeah, that will be, oh, that's fine actually. So it'll just return the widget. I like doing that, because then you can just do something like this. Set active false. Okay, so we shouldn't see any sliders. Actually, we will, because, well, okay, first of all. This whole thing is an absolute disaster, by the way. Never call anything min and max, because apparently it's just the worst thing ever. I don't get how, why? This is even in a different namespace. I don't get this. Why are you being... minandmaxwest.com. Okay, and also I wanted to, oh yeah, this stuff. So float action will have something like min and max. So if you don't specify, the min will be 0 and the max will be like 100. I don't know. You probably should specify though because it kind of matters. Why are you still sad though? I don't get that. I gave you your values. Error type. Oh, really? Ah, yes. Okay, done. And then we'll remove the slider. So we'll see what happens. Jeez. What? What? What do you mean redefinition? I'm really failing at programming today, that is for sure. Okay, that's also a valid warning. Need to add SP API to these places. That warning should probably be treated as an error. Anyway, what's wrong with you? Ah, right. It's because of this. Because I'm a lol cake. That's why. Yeah, we'll put this to not. Put this to not much, I guess. For now. Still didn't get it added anyway. Probably don't need to do anything with that. Probably don't even have to. Yeah. Okay, I see no slider. Oh, it's because yeah, it's not activated. So when we show slider, I guess. Show slider will just be like and slider set active true. Yeah, maybe I should make it not delete everything as well. Oh well. So, that's okay for now. Ooh, excuse me. Okay, so yoink. Nope, that did nothing. Because this needs to do debug menu get show slider. Has no idea what slider actually is yet though, so it's a bit of an issue. Yay! Okay, so show slider, it needs to do a few things. First of all, when you do the show slider, it needs to set it up properly. So, so for example, oh man. We'll do this instead. Edit value action. Something. Edit value maybe. Because this is going to be a bit more complicated than this. So we'll take in some kind of action, value action. Maybe it doesn't even need to. Yeah, sliders probably should know about that actually. But here's what we can do. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll set the slider to active, which means we can now get everything from it and whatnot, and then on update, which we don't have for some reason. We'll say that if the slider is active and not null, that we can get the current value. We also need to know what the current thing we're editing is. So the current action, I guess. What? Oh, yeah, that's fine. So on our page should be called debug layer then. We can do a this is really annoying actually. Yeah, so it should be, I guess. Oh no, it's fine, I guess. Yeah, okay, we'll do this. Oh man, hang on. This is mega annoying. we should set the value equal to the slider space on min-max value. And we have decided to do that. So we just need this, except that's a template class, so not good. It may be fine. Yeah, we could do. That would be really annoying though. So on action, it brings up a slider. And I guess you should just have a callback for the slider, maybe. Yeah, that's probably much better. So we'll have like an action handler, kind of. Value changed handler. Well, this is more of a callback. Yeah. Value changed callback will be a function void and and then you can be like, yeah, we'll just do this. All right. Yeah, this is a much better way of doing things. Okay, so finally now, every time we change the value, which of course will be here, in fact, we may just call set value for that. Oh, that was bottom. We'll call callback with a value, and we will change this to be set value. I think that's the only place. Oops, what have I done? That was right. That's the only place the value gets changed, I believe. Yes, good. So, obviously we need to say value equals value as well. Okay, so now we have a callback every time the value gets changed. So, when we go to action, yeah, I will eventually create a game. So this engine will be still versatile, so you can use it for multiple games and whatnot, but I will be making a game this year, yes. Based on this. I'm not 100% sure what the game is yet, but it will be good, I hope. Okay, so the reason I did this was because, yeah, we want to edit the value. And then we want to obviously set the slider callback, so slider also needs to have a void set callback. Yeah, set callback. Const value change callback. Callback equals callback. Alright, there we go. So, in debugging, when we do edit value, we need a few things, right? We need to set, we need the current value based on between the min and max, so we need the ratio basically. So we can set the value to whatever it needs to be. We need to also set the callback to whatever the callback is on value changed, and that is it. That's how we edit values, I believe. And that'll be the actual position of it. So we need the float value, and then we need a const, what is it going to be? Slider value change callback. So the float value is going to be the current value. That's the only reason we need that. Edit value, yeah. Is that good? You good? Slider. Oh, that includes it actually. But yeah, whatever. We'll make this include it. Yeah, we might not even have to change anything really. We'll see. Okay, and then in action, obviously, now when we do edit value, we send a few things. First of all, we need a on value changed callback thing. So we need to do float value. So we need to do the current value. So the current value is actually going to be the getter so hang on. I'm not falling asleep, I'm writing stuff on my notepad. Anyway, what should we do? Get it divided by max value, like minus min value. I think that'll give us what we want. And the callback will be method that. So we might not be able to do that. Because, yeah. Let's see what happens. Lols. Alright, so first of all, that's an issue because we need graphics UI. No fruit today. Min value and max value is actually going to be min and sorry. Yeah. That. Okay, cool. So now we can just set, we can call setter and the value will be the reverse of what we just did. This is actually kind of annoying because I can't think today. So I think this should just be value times the max value plus the min value or something like that. I don't know. Value times max plus min, does that sound reasonable? Value times max. 20, 1. Okay, so that's wrong. It'll be value times max minus min, I think. Yeah. Okay, well, let's just assume that works. So, no clue what this will do. The other thing is, when you're editing the value, it needs, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, so, I'm not sure, I'll take that. And min-max, let's set that. So when we do stuff like padding, let's set that to be between 0 and like 2, for example. Which also doesn't exist. So no, I don't have a turkey on the stove, unfortunately. I really wish I did. Oh, that's right. Can't do like maximum in a minute. Oh my goodness, I'll just fix that. Okay, so there we have it. 0 and 2. Let's see what happens. Turkey is the best. Clearly. Okay, so this is wrong already. So why? Let's see what happens. Action and this thing. Okay, so that's my maths, which is probably wrong. Oh my goodness. Oh, I can just F5 it, can't I? Which ends up being negative infinity. Well, that's lovely. What on earth did I do? Oh, well, first of all, that's a divide by 0 error. Jeez, I'm really good. Can't I just do... I can probably just do this. Yeah. Okay, that sounds more reasonable. .24 is also sounds more reasonable. So let's make it so that like the font size can be between like why not 0? That's stupid. Let's do like 8 and like 48 or something. Why? Look at this. Oh, it's the worst. Oh, lols. Like the value clearly doesn't change though. That's the issue. But it does. But if it changed, then I would see it up here. So M setup. So when do we make this freaking thing? Here. Okay, so we add a bunch of buttons, essentially, that are actions, and they're pointers. Deal when you item, and the way that we do that is we... Oh, well, that would be why. Do we have a... No, we don't yet. Should be in one as well. Avoid set label. Label. Okay. Now, let's Let's say, there's nothing even in. Oh, okay. But yeah, everything should be overwritten anyway. Which is not, I think, so that's also an issue. So this, just all this stuff should be virtual, really. Void update override. On update. So sorry. We can just, yeah, we can actually just set label anyway. We don't need set label, I guess. But this will be action. Or M action, I guess. Oh, that is that. Which we don't actually set, though. What's going on with this? M action, right? Yeah, so M action. Why is this not coming up? There we go. M action to string. Accessible, not for long. There we go. Now we can change the padding. And the font size. But I don't get why every time I click on it, it advances. Oh, and also that's an issue. Lols. Yeah, in fact, that's a big issue. Which we can fix though. Slider. It's kind of, so we clamped the bounds, which is, apparently we don't care about the value though, so that's good. So if value less than 0, well actually we can just do value equals clamp. Yeah, we have to do that anyway. 0, 1. Now we'll fix that. But then the other thing is, yeah, it's a bit weird that it's, okay, so there we go, you can see that we can't. That's weird, because that doesn't happen here. But it does here. It's so weird. Oh, I know why. It's because of my maths. Because that's between 0 and 2, and that's not, so yeah. Yeah, so this is wrong. So if that was the case. It's because that should be outside, I believe. Whoa. Maybe not. What happened there? Oh, no, hang on. What? Hang on, no, that's wrong. We're not trying to do that. We're trying to do the reverse of that. So it's going to be... So that first one should work, I guess. Maybe. Hmm. Oh, I'm falling asleep again. Yeah, that does not make much sense. So we could. Ah, that's annoying. Maybe we don't need them in. In fact, I think we may not. I think either that will work, which may or may not, or we can just subtract min from there. Yeah, that doesn't work. But that may. Yeah. Alright, good. So fix that. However, yeah, also what I don't get is why they just kind of go back to where they were originally. That should not be the case. So, why do they do that? They, yeah, oh, no. Do I? No, that doesn't make any sense. That is wrong. It shouldn't be doing that. Oh, so that's like wrong here. Yeah. So the setter is value equals v, which is correct. I mean, clearly it is. It's just for some reason when you press something else, it resets it. Why does it do that? I don't get that at all. Let's see what the value actually is, because we know what it is. So emp setting stuff, font size, for example. Yeah, so it does change. But when I click something else, it changes back. What changes it back? It shouldn't be changed back. I don't understand how it could possibly get changed back to what it was originally. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Unless something is setting it, actually, then it would make sense. Like, what does this stuff get instantiated up here? 24 and 0.75, right? Yeah, so somehow it gets reset. Oh no, that gets reset to 7. What the absolute... Okay, that worked there. But as soon as I... The font size doesn't really do much either. You know what would be cool though? If it did do stuff. Ah, it's because it's a button that's back. Okay. I'm 21 now, actually. I should probably update that. But yes, I am indeed a software engineer. Let's set the... Where is the menu item? So we need to do things here. Font manager. Yes, we'll do that. Yeah. Do a menu get. Get settings. Font size. Alright. So now, whoa, looks pretty cool. We can control the font size, as you can see. I guess you'll see black because it's making glyphs or something, but yeah. There we go. So that's a good way to test out font rendering and make sure it's working, by the way. But yeah, as soon as I fucking do that, it changes it. Why? That is actually the most annoying thing ever. Is that something to do with the slider? I guess it is, because the slider callbacks don't get reset. I get it. I know why. It is because, yeah, it's really annoying. It's because there's only one slider. So, it's actually pretty interesting, but that's actually a very subtle bug. Because basically when we do edit value, instead of doing this, we should set the callback first, then, like before we set the value, and that will fix it. So now you can see that it doesn't, like if I change that, it won't change. Brilliant. And if I restart that. So we could technically just make this whole thing a lot bigger now. Or something. Cool. So we got some basic debug menu kind of stuff going on. It's quite nice. probably control the decimal places as well, but yeah. That won't be too difficult, I don't think. Well, it's like a format thing. Okay, so now the only thing I want is vertical sliders. Which is actually a big deal. But hopefully not really. Because it might be better just to make another class for it, but I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's going to be that crazy. Like, is it really? Like, so when we, because we'll, like, the bounds that we submit will be vertical. So let's just say that I am making a vertical slider, right? Like, we'll set, when we make the slider, we'll set, which is on activate, so we'll delete the slider now. We'll set, let me set all this stuff up, really. Really. Hang on, it might be better. It might be better to reorder these parameters. Like, maybe not. No. I want to do this. So value vertical will be 0, callback will be no callback. Okay, so now that we're set to vertical, and I can do that by doing this. So we'll set this to true, and we'll set this to be, so x and y we can keep as 8, 8. In fact, I might even drag this up a bit to 14. And the width, of course, in this case will be 1, and 8 will be the thing. So right now, this will look very weird. But it doesn't even work for some reason. Which is a touch weird, because it should still work. It is kind of working. What on earth have I done? Okay, that's another bug, I guess. Yeah, slider. Why does that not work, first of all? Maybe it's just... Okay, hang on. First of all, that does look weird. Now that I've actually thought about it. What? Width is supposed to be 1. Right? That looked like it was huge. Oh! I know what happened. It's because of the way the head was positioned. So when we make the head, which is here, fortunately we will have to take that out. Because we need to set the head bounds. Can we just do that? I don't think so. So, because we need to set the head bounds to be based on whether or not this is vertical or not. So if it's vertical, then basically we use So if it's vertical, we use width instead of height. So bounds dot width, otherwise bounds dot height. That's how we do that. And that same thing happens here. Okay, cool. Which I might bring out later. So that should be the first step to fixing that. So now at least it should look kind of okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, not bad. Step 2, fixing this, is going to be, okay, first of all, one of the things I might say is instead of bringing this up, we should bring this down. So we're going to make the slider. We'll make this, we'll make it already how it's supposed to be, maybe with a little bit of padding. So we'll say like 2, and then we'll maybe make it 1, and yeah, 8. You know, that should still be fine. Okay, so there we go. That, okay. Step 2 is to, change this stuff. So basically, when we draw this, let's see how we do this. I can just do this. Maybe not. Maybe I can just do this instead. We do that. See how that works out. Perfecto. And then all we really need to do is just change this entire thing. So I'll put that in there. So, I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and change. I don't even know why I did that. Doesn't matter. Visual Studio 15 seems to have some weird things going on. So we'll change that to that. We'll set the head offset to be that. And then the on update has to be changed a little bit as well. Yeah, it's fine. We did not need to create a new class for this. Lots of stuff there. Lots of branching, which is a bit annoying. So it probably would have been faster performance-wise. It would have definitely been faster performance-wise. Just, yeah, do that. Oh well. Yeah, well, we could make this a template class, but that could be interesting. Okay. There we go. Done. We've got a vertical or a horizontal. Whoa. Deactivate delete slider. Oh no, it's fine. We don't need to do that because that gets done automatically. Cool. So now let's make it display like maybe on that edge. So we'll say that we'll say that the position for it will be width. So width, the position y will be 0. The width will be like 1.5 maybe, and the height will be 18. And then I think we're pretty good. Oh, that head did not work. Head bounds, eh? So if it was vertical, I should have used width for the bounds. Yeah, that's correct. Why didn't it do that then? What? That's very weird. What? Look at that thing. Why is it not filling up? What? That makes no sense. Size 1? Why is it size 1? It's 1.5. Oh, fudge. Why would I... Why on earth would I not? Oh. Should have read my warnings. Okay, there we go. So we got like a good slider, I think, for the debug menu now. So the reason this is good, by the way, guys, this is the reason that you've all been waiting for. Like, the reason this is good is not just for those two kind of options, but the reason it's really good, and I'm actually just going to change the color, I think, because it's being a bit annoying. We'll change this to be like CF. Yeah, I'm Australian, by the way. So this is kind of an Australian, maybe a bit of Russian accent, because I speak Russian as well, but especially with my parents. So if it's pressed, we'll change this to be like that. Otherwise, I think we'll go with more of a darker kind of. Also CF or something. We'll just see what this looks like. Oh yeah, it looks pretty good, and it's kind of transparent, as you can see. So we'll stick with that. And then for the reason this is good is because if we're going to like test 3D or something like that, we can actually, you'll see that, for example, if we want to, so the transform actually does get changed here all the time. But if we had something like float X transform or something, right? Which I'll bring up here. And then X transform we used for this.